I'm Dr. Elizabeth Snyder.
And I'm Dr. Julie Galvin from the Galvin Growth Group.
And we are starting off today's discussion a little different. We're going to do a free giveaway today. So anyone who comments on today's video, since it's the last video in our series, is going to be entered to win a little gift package to celebrate the end of our series. So what you'll win if you're selected is you'll win the Untangled book that we've been discussing. You'll also win Dr. Lisa D'Amour's second book, Under Pressure, and then also a t-shirt from Galvin Growth Group. So we're really excited to be able to give away a little surprise package at the end of our series. So make sure you comment on today's video to be entered to win.
We just wanted to have this last session. We've covered all 7 chapters of the book, and we thought it'd be fun just to have kind of a closing discussion, conversation about our takeaways from the book. And again, we'd love for you guys to comment on your takeaways from the book to see what you guys all thought of it. And then also we want to invite you to comment and give suggestions for future book series that we could do, or any topics that you would be interested in us, covering down the road. We've really enjoyed putting this together, and we'd love your feedback so we know what we can look forward to doing in the future. In terms of today's session, just looking at the 7 chapters, I think there's so much good stuff in this book for all of us. And I think it applies whether you're raising teenage girls or even boys. I think a lot of the principles are just great adolescent parenting suggestions that we can all find helpful. And so we thought we'd start by sharing a few of our takeaways that were especially meaningful for us. And we'd love to hear what yours were as well. So we'll start with Dr. Snyder. Dr. Snyder, what were some of the themes that really hit home for you?
Well, I think there are so many good points in this book, right? So many things that hit home that I apply in my life, right? And I encourage everyone listening to apply in their parenting practices also. But I think there are 2 things that I would really like to highlight as big takeaways for me from this book. And the first is validating emotions, which I know when we talked about that chapter, I really pushed hard and I continue to push hard. It is so important to validate anyone's emotion, especially teenagers' emotions. If they're feeling scared, sad, upset, even if it seems like no big deal, saying like, I can see you're really frustrated, or I can see you're really angry, or I get it really stinks that I had to take your iPad away because you were up all night using it, right? But then validating how they feel, and you can still maintain boundaries, you can still maintain rules, but letting them know that their feelings are okay to feel and that it makes sense. You understand why they might be feeling the way that they're feeling. So I think that's my first big takeaway. My second big takeaway would be that these lessons, these values, this transition from childhood to adulthood does not happen in a single conversation or a single day or a single good week. These are seeds that we are planting along the way. And it might seem like there isn't progress being made. It might seem like you're thinking, I've had this conversation with her 10 times. How does she not understand this already? But it really is about, planting those seeds, making those comments, having those conversations, and seeing growth along the way. And you might see 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You might kind of be dropping all these seeds and not seeing it flourish yet, but know that it's kind of simmering in your teenager's mind. And so waiting and be patient and letting that normal development go through the transitions it needs to go through, which takes time, right? The years of teenager are quite a few years. It takes time for them to develop these skills. And then just looking for those red flags, right? If you do see those red flags that she talks about in the book, then it might be time to step in and do something extra. But as long as you're not seeing those red flags, know that planting those seeds, they will blossom and bloom in due time. It just might not be as quick as what we think. So I think that those were the 2 big takeaways for me. What about for you, Dr. Galvin?
I totally agree with your 2 that you found to be valuable. And I think 2 additional ones that I saw were that, you look for those opportunities to have those conversations. It's not planned big sit down lectures with your teen, like, oh, this month we've got to talk about this topic. It's really looking for those opportunities. A lot of times it might be in the car when you're not sitting down face to face. Maybe you're going somewhere and they're sitting next to you and it just comes up quickly. And just seeing those moments and recognizing them as opportunities to have that ongoing conversation. And just like you said, it's not a single conversation. It is hopefully through life that we're open to talking about these things. And I love that it's not us lecturing them about our thoughts about everything. A lot of it is asking them what they are thinking about it and what do they think about what their friends are going through or other teens or themselves, and just like, again, engaging in these skills with us so that when they're out there in the world, they can have that kind of internal dialogue to ask these critical questions and rely on their own inner wisdom to guide them through situations. I think another one is recognizing that adolescence is a bumpy ride. So there are these 7 stages because it's obstacles that we need to successfully navigate to reach young adults and be successful young women. And so it doesn't mean that we have to anticipate adolescence as being this terrible time period. I think she gives us wonderful wisdom on how to navigate it and just embrace it as this amazing time, all these huge challenges our girls are going through. And that, yes, there's going to be up and downs, just embrace it and be there for them and ask these questions and help them think about these questions too as they go through it. So I just think it's really a positive book. It gives us some really objectified steps and things that we can be doing, and the when to worries of every stage is a helpful tool too to look out for. When do we need to maybe seek some other guidance or some support as parents?
Absolutely. Yes, I think those are really good takeaways also. I love those small conversations. I love normalizing the bumpiness of being a teenager. And as she talks about at the beginning of the book, it doesn't have to be this huge, horrible thing, but just recognizing that, of course, they're going to make mistakes along the way. We want them to make mistakes in a safe environment when they're at home with their parents still during these years. So I think normalizing the bumpiness, but then also, like you said, like having an environment that can foster a healthy relationship too. So I think it's a little bit of both overall in the book, right? Like, yeah, teenage years are hard. Like you're saying, that's normal, but it doesn't have to be this big disastrous thing that maybe gets popularized in the media. And I think she lays some good groundwork out on how to accomplish that.
Yes. So I think in conclusion, like we've certainly enjoyed having this opportunity to share this book with you guys, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And again, please comment today, give us suggestions on how we could improve future series, your thoughts about the book, and any suggestions for topics that we could cover in future series as well.
Absolutely. I look forward to reading the comments, to getting your suggestions, and hopefully we'll be back, with another series in the future.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
All right. Bye.